Vinnie Duber chatted with Liam on the field pregame about Gregory Santos, and there's great insight to how Groot has been able to unlock the power that he has been displaying in 2023.
Before I even got here, I was in constant contact with Haas and Katz, and it was a little bit more along the lines of me just trying to get him angry. Because I think there was a game at the start of the year where he started the inning off with a fastball at like 93, 94, and then got a couple guys on, got mad, and sat 100. I'm like, no, that means it's in there. Like, it doesn't have to be. And so I was like, we worked a little bit on that about trying to get him to be angry from the get-go, because there's certain times where you may not have an opportunity to last two batters and then get angry. It may be a thing where you need to get straight from the gate. And when all the trades happen and everything like that, I can't remember who came up to me with like, oh yeah, would you mind talking to him? I think it was Haas came up to me. I was like, look, I'm fine talking to him, but I want the clarification. And so I went and spoke to Pedro. I went and spoke to Katz. I'm like, hey, look, if this is the plan, I can talk to him, but I want to make sure that I'm not telling him to be ready for the 8th or the 9th, and then all of a sudden he's warming up in the 7th. Like, that's not. We need to have a little bit of guidelines here with it all, because at the end of the day, this is a young kid who's finally, like, he's really getting an opportunity in the big leagues for honestly the first time, like a long extended look. So this is a thing where you need to make sure that if you're going to put him into a role, you need to stick to that role, and unless he starts struggling and all that sort of stuff, that's a whole different ball game. But all I said to him was like, look, whatever you need to do, you need to be ready to go at the drop of a hat, and there's sometimes not going to be time. So as soon as the 8th inning, like I did all my pre-workout stuff at the 7th inning. So I would do my visualization and mental stuff all in the 7th inning, and I do anything I need to do before the 8th inning started, because once the 8th inning started, if a couple guys get on, that phone's ringing and you got to get going, and usually you only have a couple batters to get ready. So that was one big thing to him was, look, do whatever you need to do, but once the phone rings, then there's not that you can't start your band work, you can't start anything like that. Then you need to preemptively do it every day around the start of the 8th inning or the middle of the 7th or whatever you need to do. But once that 8th inning starts, you need to be available and ready to get going from the drop of a hat. And he's really embraced it. I mean, he's got the stuff to be out there. He's got the mentality, which is the big thing to be out there. And I was talking to Kurt Hassler about it today. I mean, this is the prime time to get a guy setting up into this role. Is you come in, there's not as much kind of stress innings at the start of the year, and you build up, you build through the leverage, you work towards it. It's you go into the mindset that you earned this. Like, you earned it. You weren't just gifted the role because of an injury or anything like that. You earned this role by the way you were pitching this year, and that's something that he's really taken. And we constantly talk, and I mean, he's opened up his shell a little bit more as the season's gone on, which has been great. But yeah, like I always want to make sure that the guy, like, it's a readiness thing. I mean, there's nothing I can teach him about pitching. He throws a completely different kind of arsenal towards me. He can throw a slider for strikes where I just didn't. So we have a completely different arsenal, but any sort of thing that I can be there for the guidance. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to stick around, and asked Pedro and Katz and Haas and Jerry, like, hey, look, I know it's not normal for a guy who's had Tommy John or had a major injury to be sticking around, but if there's a chance, I feel like I can have some value in this team, especially with the young bullpen we've got, and Gregory's a big part of that, and so I'm just excited that he's taken it over with, and I mean, let's hope as we move forward, it's more the one innings and he can get into a little bit more of that role. But I mean, necessity comes, especially in a series like this where you got to go and get 5 outs. You got to go and get 5 outs. It's been there, done that, and it's something that can really take him into the next stratosphere. I mean, he's got the stuff to be able to do it, and he's got the mentality to be able to do it. Then that's come from just the pure confidence he has in his stuff, especially now that he's throwing strikes and taking his A-game stuff as soon as the bell rings.
Great stuff there from Liam, and great stuff from Vinnie to acquire that audio. What did you take away from that kind of talk from Liam about Gregory Santos channeling his anger?
Well, it's what Liam does, right? Yeah. He makes it up. It's fabricated. It's not real. Mm-hmm. Liam's a very nice guy, but he has figured out a way to rile himself up when he's on the mound, and he looks like someone you would not want to come within 40 feet of because you might get hurt, right? So it has worked for him. It has helped turn him in to, at a recent time, the best closer in baseball. And now you're seeing him try to pass those lessons on to other people. Now, listen, that doesn't always work. Now, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. I remember even when Kendall Graveman's first year here, I believe that was last season, him and Liam were both talking about how it was so nice for Kendall to be there because there were certain guys in the bullpen, young guys, who responded to the way Kendall did things, and there were certain guys in the bullpen who responded to the way Liam did things. So we'll see if Gregory can do that sort of thing and if he responds to what Liam has been saying. But that's the advice that he's giving to a guy who is going to have this job. The White Sox would hope everything goes right for not only the next 6.5 weeks, but really for perhaps the entirety of next season, because Hendriks, we don't know what his situation is going to be with what the Tommy John recovery and what the contract is going to look like after this year.
And I think the one thing, if Groot doesn't, jibe with the getting angry type of thing, I hope he takes the thing that Liam does. I think the best is forget about past performance. Forget about...
And you have to do that. Every closer has to do that.
Exactly. And say, I don't care, I'm still the best. And have that mentality that you are the best on the mound and that no one can hit you. I'm invincible. No one can mess with me. And Gregory Santos needs to get into that type of mind frame when he goes to the bump. And maybe he was trying to do that last night and got his, it's like, I'm trying to be too cute, to be too fancy. I'm going to throw 99 past him. And, we got caught up. Now he can say, okay, maybe he caught me that day, but I meet Chris Morel again. I'm not scared to throw that 99 again, but place it in a better spot.
Right. No, I like the response of just say, threw the wrong pitch. Like, that seems like something that you live, you learn, and next time I'm out in the saving a game for the team that's 24 games under 500, I'll make sure I throw that slider and not that sinker.
And that's definitely what Liam, every time he gets a save, he's hyped. He really relishes to win the game and do his job. And I feel like more players need to be like that, because the times when you get hit, you're just walking off the mound sad as hell. You got to celebrate your dubs, and I hope Gregory Santos gets that.
You saw that from him on Tuesday.
Yeah.
He was jacked.
Mm-hmm. The atmosphere is good, and when you do your job as a closer, you got to get hyped up about it.